Why is there a Schumann resonator circuit design on the floor of some churches and cathedrals? I mean, should we call them churches and cathedrals for like the fact of religion and praying for your sins, or were these buildings meant for something else, and then they just gave them the use or the name of church and cathedral? Look at this, and you have this on the floor of many of the cathedrals and buildings like this in the world. And this is the Schumann resonator, and then we have the cathedral or the Cathedrals de Chartres in France. And the word cathedral, cathedral, right, to do with energy and electricity. So why is it like that in these buildings we have these designs that look like the designs of energy and electricity? So was the building meant for something else than just, I mean, the people who built this, when they built it, oh, look at this. Why does this look so like this? You get the point of what this is. You can read on the screen. I'm actually afraid of saying the name of that because you're not supposed to actually speak about this. And there's even like the patents in the United States Patent Office. Look at this. This is like I think it's like from the 1900s or like the 1800s. A patent number. I'm sorry, and everything else. Waves, energy. You know who this guy is, right? And these devices. So why does this look like this? Look at this. Why is this like this? I mean, these machines and this whole thing about this guy and everything else, what does this have to do with the floors, in this case of the cathedrals and the buildings? So who built these cathedrals? Why did they build them this? I mean, was this built with like hammer and sizzle and the working hand of manual labor of people who were living in the Middle Ages with donkeys and carriages with horses and wooden wheels? Look at this. I mean, it's a Schumann resonator by the ancient gods and the gods of energy and electricity. What? This is too much for me. I'm trying to process this whole thing, and then of course it goes with the cymatics and with the energy frequencies, vibrations, with how this behaves in water and sand and other stuff. Cymatics. Do you understand cymatics? I mean, we have these like patterns all across the buildings of the old world. So what was the purpose of those buildings, and what was happening inside the buildings, and was it to do with like energy and frequency and vibration and electricity or not? I'm just asking because I see cymatics everywhere. Look at this. Cymatics behavior and these windows, as they call them, rose windows, they say, because they look like flowers and stuff. So geometry is very important. Was this like with glass, or was it without glass? What was the purpose of these places? Magnetron resonator designs. They're called magnetrons. Look at this. So is this like the stuff that we're not supposed to study because we're not supposed to know that in the past there was free electricity and free energy? And look at this. This is the magnetron as we learned in school. And this is like what we see in the buildings. I know, man, this is too much for me. I look at the photos and I understand the message, but it's hard and complicated to explain it. I mean, it's not. It's just like the big majority of people don't care about this, right? I care because it blows me away to pieces when I learn the facts about the reality of this world. Look at this. I'm just going to show you the photos. And for the magnetron, you can understand magnetron on the ancient buildings with so much perfection. Then with the cymatics and frequency and vibration and energy and magnetism and electricity. So awesome. And then there's magnetron as well. So yeah, just a compilation of your everyday stuff. Nothing to see here. Just move along. It's just these buildings are probably just meant for us to go inside and pray, and that's it. End of the story. And the builders are just normal people like you and me, who were super awesome at what they were doing, with no machines and no diamonds and no lasers and no software and no hardware and no electricity and no tools and no nothing. Yet they built these huge, megalithic, impressive, perfectly cut, perfectly made, perfectly sculpted, perfectly elaborated, perfectly constructed things. And besides that, gigantically big, giant even titanic in some cases. Look at the size of those stone blocks and the doors and everything else, and the statues and everything else. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. And let's just go back to, you know, to this. Where was I? I was in a place where, yes, look at this. Now we understand everything. I'm so happy to be able to understand just by looking at the photos and pictures of the reality of the real world.